Yo guys, this is Nate and I'm back for another audio commentary for WCRplays.com, and it's your favorite person back with me, Mr. Ed.
Hey guys, I'm back to do another one with my friend Nate here. And
what game are we doing, Ed?
I don't know. Let's find a game. What do you guys think?
Well, I promised
this will be like those TV shows where they ask the audience questions.
I promised them I'd do that anti-towering one, remember that?
Yeah, let's do the anti-towering one.
Okay. So this is a game I played earlier today. Between me, WOA Slide, Undead current level 20 versus War Oranges, level 20 Orc. Map is 2 rivers, pause game 15 seconds, fog war on under my vision, 1 XP. And in this game, I get tower rushed, and I handle it very effectively, but there's a lot of little twists and stuff.
I might note that the guy who's towering him is pretty good.
Not great, though. He makes some mistakes.
He makes one mistake which loses him the game, which you guys will probably notice.
And I make some mistakes too.
Yes.
It's always.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright, so hope you guys have
seconds.
3, 2, 1, unpause. Alright. Gee, I'm just going for fiends. I'm at this point, like I've changed my build a bit versus Orc, in that I go for my typical 50-50 fiends thing, but instead of going right to tier 3, I've been trying Necros out more. I've been trying that against Undead too. I just lost horribly.
To some level 16.
Yeah, hush your mouth. It's because Ed was distracted.
Fucked up his build. No, it's just he wasn't used to this Necros.
Anyway, I'm working on the Necros because I haven't used. I mean, since what's the current patch? 14. Like since 1.13 or whatever, I haven't really used Undead Casters particularly. So I'm trying to switch it up and use them a bit more. So you'll see a very effective use of them in this game, though.
And I've just been fucking around with low-level RT as Night Elf and all that.
Hey, tell me your account name.
It's QEW_ the sound of Q.
It's Q the sound of Q.
Of course. I thought it was pretty good. But by the way, I got a question for someone. Must know this. Persian Kitty. I know Showtime plays his solos for him, or that's what I think at least. But who is it that's actually playing the low-level RT for him? Because I beat him this morning.
Good for you.
And I want to know, like, I mean, I don't think it was Showtime. I want to know who it was.
It must have been him.
I think it was him, but like, I don't know. Because if it was Showtime, I feel good, but I don't think it was.
Come on, Showtime.
Yeah.
RT.
I can't see Showtime playing very much RT. All right. So let's talk. Nothing's really going on in this game. We're only like a minute in. Let's go to the fog war off for a second. Check out what the orcs do.
Now, see, if I've been smart, and I really need to change my build to accommodate this, but you need to scout. And if I'd scouted him, I would have seen immediately that he's going to tower rush me. It's very obvious. I mean, look at his base. He's got, no barracks, and he's got early, what's it called?
War mill,
yeah. So it's very obviously going to tower me. So, also, big problem with my build is that I don't get that early Tomb of Relics, as you saw in the last commentary I did. So I'm going to be changing my build right after this game. Let me show you.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't really like what he's doing here, where he's just going to try to tower him with a lone hero and forgo any guns.
Yeah, it's not... Well...
Because really, like, what he ends up doing here is his... Honestly, I think that harassment, while you're trying to... I think harassment with a single Farseer against Undead just really, at this point, isn't effective at all. Because, I mean, especially when you're trying to hurt the units. Because the Undead... Any Undead player who's been playing Undead for like 3 patches has been harassed by a Farseer more times than they can count. And they really know how to deal with it. The thing is with the Nerubian Tower, you can't really harass their base, and what he's doing now is not a good option, because he's just feeding the experience.
Well, it's good to be hitting the DK like he's doing, but after that specific point, he just starts sending wolves at me, and that's just free XP. And although it keeps me busy a little bit longer, and it keeps me away from his towers, it's getting me that level 3 really fast, which is a big problem for him.
Yeah, that level 3, because the thing is with fiends, when you're fighting against fiends, right, even with 2 heroes, you can just, like, sort of focus one, and he'll coil it, and then you'll just kill it. if he has level 1 coil, but if he has level 2 coil, you're not going to kill it.
It's also a big threat if you're trying to tower rush the person,
Because
they can actually kill your hero. You lose your hero, all of a sudden you're set back quite a lot. So.
Here's the level 2 thanks to the wolves. Just to mention, actually, I don't know why I'm yawning. Just to mention, if you do all the camps on your little island of this 2 rivers, except like the big red one, you don't actually get level 3. You're a little bit off level 3. So like even then, even those wolves, then it's just making it
one wolf. There's a 2. Like one wolf gives
one
you
set
that
of wolves.
extra.
Yeah, it's just letting him do it a little bit easier. And what I was saying before is the harassment, the way he's doing it, really isn't very effective. What you got to do is the whole idea now with the harassment is not to kill peasants, because there's been so many methods employed to make
peasants,
that.
you mean acolytes?
Acolytes. What the point is now is to keep them from creeping, and that's what you got to really do. Is as soon as when they're between creep camps, you got to come in and start hitting their fiends, and then as soon as they run towards your wolves, you run them away. Whereas he's just throwing the wolves against Nate's army. And now he's got his towers up, and Nate just realized, oh fuck, there's 4 towers outside my base, and my DK's at 150 health.
So I'm like, what am I gonna do? And so I'm like, what am I gonna do? And check this now. This is very innovative on my part, I think.
This is the highlight.
This keeps me alive in this game. I got a sacrificial skull, and you're like, what's he gonna do with that sacrificial skull?
Oh my god, sacrificial skull.
Put it far away from the towers.
In this little cool-looking little niche.
So it's not easy to come across. And right there, I'm going to put my slaughterhouse and a temple of the damned, and that's going to let me get all the stuff I need to stop.
The thing is people don't usually think of these things, because for a long time the Night Elf, when Night Elf was the race that always got towered, the Night Elf's solution was to build like 8 ancients in war outside their base, and a lot of people think that only applies to Night Elf, and that's not true. If you're getting towered as any race, you want to build your buildings that'll beat the towers away from their siege.
Unless, a good place to also put those buildings would have been like near that tomb for relics, because I've got a lot of space there.
Yeah.
So that would have been just as viable. I just kind of felt like screwing around, I guess. But just the one place you can't put them is in front of your base. That's just suicide. Yeah,
because then you lose. If you look now, I don't really agree with what Nate's doing here. I mean, he's killing some wolves, but he's got like 4 towers firing on him.
Yeah, not necessarily the best move. But
I don't know. If you guys are coming at this from the point of an
that's so funny when you yawn.
Why am I yawning?
Then I keep doing
If you guys are coming at this from the point of a orc player's point of view, and you want to learn how to tower people really well, I forget which website it was. It might have been WCR, but I think it was Warcraft 3 Addicts. Just did a big MTW taker thing, and they have about 17 of his replays, and that's all he does is tower people. Every race, every game, he can. I mean, everything. Every time he thinks he can get away with it.
You tell him about that tunneling around the back.
And what he does is he towers them from the front, and then he sends his peons and sort of makes a tunnel in the trees, and tunnels around and puts a couple of them behind their gold mine. And then he does a lot of things, like he drops Caddis in the back and sends Bat Riders to the front.
Yeah, that's going to pretty much screw you real bad.
It just makes you tear out your hair if you're the undead player. And of course that doesn't work with the Bat Riders once he gets Web or the Zeppelin. But, whatever.
Alright, so at this point my goal here is he's got Demolishers. I just don't want him to let him get any closer. I've got my own meat wagon, so I can kind of keep him from building any more towers. And at this point, I've got my key buildings up, so I'm just going to try and get a couple more Necros and Corpses, and then I'm going to try and rush the towers. And I got that idea from Genius, who's the guy I played in the last commentary, and he suggested to me, why don't you just Necro rush the towers, and it's really very effective. You get a couple Necros and a meat wagon full of Corpses, and all of a sudden you're able to actually overcome the towers.
And the problem actually with meat wagons, people try to just build meat wagons to push back the towers, is that demos just destroy meat wagons.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have your meat wagons sitting there and the demos are firing on them, they'll just fall apart. Yeah. They have a lot less hit points, a lot less damage, less armor.
What I did right there was a real bad idea, though. Anytime you let the Necros get within range of the towers, it's just bad because they're going to die in about 2 seconds of the piercing damage.
And now that the Town Hall is getting killed.
It's almost best with the Necros to just put them in the back in a separate hotkey and only use them for raising corpses, and to not even bring them in the battle. The damage is pretty much insignificant.
Yeah, unless you're fighting like grunts or something. And if you look here, I think this is really the biggest mistake this guy makes is he goes Blade Master.
Yeah, that's a big
and Blade Master
mistake.
Is really bad second, honestly.
I mean, he could have gone Hex. I mean, with towers, think about it. Like, do you want Hex and then focus on the towers? You want Blade Master?
Yeah, you want
the application is so much better.
Yeah, honestly, I think this Blade Master first is really good if you're good with him, like if you're Cat X2. But I mean, a lot of people. Blade Master gets killed really, really fast, guys, if he doesn't have Mirror Image or Windwalk. And if you're going to just use Windwalk to like attack his meat wagon and get your Blade Master killed, why not have Hex, honestly? Because the thing about Hex is it's so multi-applicable. Because you can Hex units that are running away, or in a big battle, say you got Wyverns, you can Hex the DK and then kill the Lich.
Yeah, Hex, I think, is pretty much undoubtedly the best anti-undead spell. I mean, it just completely destroys everything undead has. Like, I don't know.
Or you can Hex the Lich and then...
Just Hex is great.
You can Hex the Lich and then kill it, because it's no longer an undead unit once it's hexed.
I mean, you can't coil Hexed units. You can't coil when Hexed. You can't TP. Hexed units basically going to die.
You can't run away. Yeah.
So what I was doing right there, by the way, if you noticed that, was a little risky, as I just said, in that I had the Necros within range of the towers. Clearly, he killed all my Necros, as was to be expected. And really, the thing to do would just be leave them by the graveyard and send in skeletons from there. So just a quick note there.
Yeah.
But at this point, you would think I pretty much won the game. I mean, in general, if you push back the tower rush, you pretty much won the game. But we'll see that's not quite the case.
And here he finds the hidden rags.
Well, I think I saw it on my mini-map somehow. I'm not sure how.
And another thing you've always got to do is build it. Where he built the racks, he should have built a... Instead of doing that, or he could have done that, but he should have built a shop. Because the thing is the problem is when you're towering, it's sort of like it's like a normal siege. It's like a siege in real life. Sometimes the besieging army runs out of resources before the people who are living in the castle. And that's what happened with this guy. Is if you're fighting against... Because Nate can sit with his statues in there for a little while and get all his hero and his unit's health back. But this orc guy has to be far away from his base, sitting by his towers, and he has no healing. Or no reprieve, really. So it's like... You've always got to build that shop, especially the orc shop is just so good for
orc shop is incredible.
Because you can keep your heroes replenished, and like that's what lets you hold the towers is the heroes. And this guy just windwalked and attacked the building, which does not do critical damage.
This is a good move on his part, though. Very good move in that he's, well, this basically could have won him the game, and that he's completely delaying my tech. And I don't want to ruin the surprise for you guys, but those of you who wish to, turn off all your horn and take a look at what's coming out of his base. And you'll see why it's so important that I really needed to get to tier 2 there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really could have cost me the game if he'd gone for Hex. I think there's many circumstances he could have basically ended the game. So anyway, I'm going more meat wagons because I think I'm just going to walk into his base and siege it, but that's not going to be the case.
He's pretty wrong.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was you just got overconfident right there.
See, there's one thing that this guy did do correctly, though, if I may interrupt you, in that once he saw that his tower push was being pushed back, he didn't keep building towers. What a lot of players do is, they'll start getting pushed back and they'll just keep building more and more towers. That's not the thing to do. The thing to do is to get, pull out and get as many resources as you can. Yeah. And so that's what he did, and that's not what I was expecting. Yeah. But you were saying?
Yeah. I was saying you're just overconfident right here.
Yeah.
And you don't, and I think it's the obvious thought progression that you would get what he's getting, but I don't know. Because the thing is the two counters to the towers you can get is you can try to get destroyers.
Oh, look what he's got.
And look, he's got mass worms.
Destroyers don't really counter the towers if they'll just get the upgrade, the tier 3 upgrade.
Yeah, but once they get the tier 3 upgrade, yeah. But, you know, here, they just gotta run away.
See, those wyverns would not even be a problem with web, but I don't... I'm still building my initial necropolis, yeah. I have no anti-air right now, and it's a big problem.
Yeah, the thing is, right here, is that, what if he had Hex?
Yeah, if he'd had Hex right here, like, he could have taken out my heroes.
Start out, he could have hexed a Fiend, right? And then that would have died, so that's another Fiend gone, and then he could have hexed the Lich.
Or the DK or anything and
killed the Lich. So that's like...
I mean, taking out my heroes right now is going to win the game for me.
Yeah, that would have just...
Straight away. With my heroes are the only thing stopping him just walking into my base, really.
And actually, I don't know why he doesn't walk into your base right here.
Well, he tries to tower me again. That's
but he waits too long. Yeah. It's like right here, I have no idea why he backs off.
I don't know, I just think like... I mean, once I got towers in my base, he wouldn't want to stay, but he could have done so much more damage, like, if he hadn't backed off right now. Like, right now... He could at least come in and kill some stuff. Like
you could kill all the meat wagons and all the statues pretty easily.
Yeah.
And here, Hex again.
Anything.
Bang.
Hex right there. Game over.
I mean, you guys. Basically, the point of our little story here is to get Hex against the Orc. Against Undead.
Yeah. And I wouldn't recommend getting Shadowhunter first because he's very easy to nuke. I would say, obviously TT is the way to go. But if you're gonna get a second hero, get Shadowhunter and get Hex. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the problem with solo TC is, I mean, he's really good against the Fiend's DK Lich thing.
Yeah. It really depends if your opponent's going ghouls.
But if your opponent is a good ghoul player, the TC...
How many people go ghouls, though, against the Orc?
I mean, the thing is they work. It's like...
it's hard, though.
The Koreans do it. All the Koreans love ghouls. I don't know why.
I love ghouls, too.
Only Ghost Stop goes Fiends. I think it's just because, like, Fiends are big and slow and Koreans aren't big and slow.
I think it's really, like, each individual player, but, like, I was talking to my buddy 666 Hell Raiders, and I was saying how I try to go ghouls against everything. He's like, well, I go Fiends against everything. I'm like, how do you do that? He's saying that range is much more easy to micro. And I was saying for me how I can barely micro Fiends, whereas, you know, the melee of the ghouls is much easier. So I think it's really, like, a personal choice, you know. Some people just have an easier time, like, focus firing and stuff. And other people don't.
Yeah. What I think is that the reason Koreans don't like Fiends is because the Koreans are. I think it's Koreans. Fiends are big and slow, and kind of stupid looking. Koreans aren't big or slow or stupid, so I think it just clashes with the culture.
Yeah.
Of the Koreans.
Alright, so now guys, if you see that I'm mashing up Fiends at this point, and let me just say this, what happens next is a real big victory for me, and that my Fiend micro versus Wyverns has always been horrible, and if you've watched past games of me going Fiends versus Wyverns, I just lose all of them.
Yep.
But you'll see here that I actually micro properly, so yeah, we're not there yet. So at this point he's let me reach tier 2, big. Like Tillerman would say, big mistake.
What a disaster.
Yes, what a disaster.
Whatever happened to Tillerman? Well, he's playing like professional poker.
No, I think he's got an account, just nobody knows about it.
That might be the case.
So tower's going up now, but there's only 3 of them, so I figure I can pretty much go in them. Yeah.
And then he gets web, and he's just going to back up and web them.
Yeah, right here.
And kill the Blade Master.
Right, first of all, I just got levels on my hero, which is nice, but go web. Now I back up a little bit out of the range of the towers, and I just focus fire the Wyverns. And bam, perfect micro, well, sort of perfect micro on my part. I didn't dance the Fiends, so I lost a couple of Fiends, but I focus fired perfectly, and right there, now the game has completely swung around in my favor. So,
I don't know, since I watched so many replays, let me just say it again. If you want to see from the Orc player's perspective, watch MTW Taker. He does his towering thing better than anyone. And if you want to see Fiends, if you like Fiends,
ST Ghost Stop.
Watch ST Ghost Stop. Or because Sweet Saint goes ghouls, Mad Frog goes ghouls most of the time, Showtime now, when he plays Undead, always goes ghouls because he only plays them against human. I don't know. Jackson used to always go ghouls. I can't really think of any player any top Korean that goes fiends except Ghost Up.
Mad Frog isn't Korean in that.
I know.
But you think of him as a Korean.
He's been adopted. He plays in Korea. Come on, whatever. And Durandal always used to like his fiends, but I don't. He plays sometimes. I don't see.
I haven't really seen much.
He doesn't put out any replays anymore.
All right, so now I'm just going for the finishing.
I don't really know what this guy's saying. I don't know what this really means. I think he means that if he was better, he would have won, which is obviously true. But
now the key thing here that didn't really get demonstrated too much though was that it's very, very plausible to necro rush a towering orc, and it's kind of like my new solution really. Which is that you get 3 or 4 necros and 1 or 2 meat wagons, and you raise all of that, and you can rush the towers and overcome the towers, and it's really it works.
Yeah.
So just
this orc has no dispel.
So try that out, guys. Yeah, because they have no way of getting rid of those necros, and that's pretty much what I plan to do against all orcs who tower me.
Oh look, he loses his seer.
What a surprise!
But yeah, now he's talking. I hate undead too. I think everybody does when that stuff happens. When your hero.
Hey, you try to tower rush me.
When your hero just wanders up and sort of disappears. Oh, where'd my warden go? No recoil. The thing about why I don't like undead as orc is because, barring hex, orc has no way to kill heroes ever.
They have no way to really protect their heroes.
And they have no way to protect their heroes either.
Or they could just not, stop going intelligent heroes as their first hero. That would be a good idea.
Yeah, the thing is so many people are still stuck on primary intelligence heroes because
it works in 2s. I mean, not.
It works really well in 2s, and the thing about it is back in ROC it was the only really viable option because the hero nuking wasn't as ridiculous as it is right now.
Well, it's always been the same. I mean, just people never really. I don't know why has it changed though? It's seriously, the hero nuking has always been the same.
It's because
Lich and the Coil and Nova have not changed since forever.
It's because the statues is one thing. The fact that I don't know.
It was always possible to level 3 Coil Nova.
The fact is, let's talk in terms of the Archmage. It's the Archmage, the hero nuke never used to be such a big threat to the human, is because while you were trying to nuke the Archmage, all the fast expo produced human units would just rape all the ghouls. Yeah. So the invisibility and all of that worked pretty well. But the thing is now you're fighting on more even ground in terms of units and in terms of heroes, and so that makes it the damage incurred by throwing everything you have at the Archmage isn't nearly as nasty. That's at least my thought on it.
Yeah. So anyway, that game is over, guys. Just a quick note in terms of the overview thing. My heroes are much higher level. That's what happens, and that's kind of one of the other big reasons besides the resource deficit is that the person who gets towered, if you can push back the tower rush, your heroes are going to be much higher level in the long run. So yeah.
Alright guys.
So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to leave us some feedback and all that, and anything to say, Ed?
Nah.
Okay.
See you guys
Peace,
later.
guys.